Sami Fakhreddine is the owner of StartFeelingFree, and he is an emotion and body code expert. He releases emotional baggage and subconscious blocks that hinder anyone to thrive in all areas of their lives. Having experienced many hardships in his life, from the war in Lebanon in his childhood to severe acne and being bullied in his adolescence, losing his parents early and struggling to find his passion while doing over 20 professions, he finally found his calling at 40 years old, and that is healing. His mission is to free people from their emotional baggage, to feel free, healthy, happy, and help them manifest their dreams and desires. He's been living his dreams since 3 years now and loving what he does, having his own healing business and living by the beach in Portugal. Hello, everybody. I'm really happy to have today Sami. We're going to talk about emotion and body code. Hi, Sami. Happy to have you on the Healer Hub podcast.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
So, can you give us a little bit of a background story about who you are and why you are doing what you are doing?
Of course. My stories. I am Lebanese. My father's Lebanese. My mom is Swiss. I was born in Lebanon in '73. That was a long time ago. So yeah, and then we had an amazing. At '73 everything was peaceful, but then in '75 the war started in Lebanon, civil war, and then we also, we had like between the Muslim and Christian, everyone against each other, and then also the war with Israel. So my first, 10 years, I was 12 when I left Lebanon, but the 10 years of war it really marked on. So I was traumatized. Everyone who goes through war is traumatized, and gladly, my mom is Swiss, so we fled to Switzerland, and we knew Switzerland, so we always went to Switzerland, and every year. But it was peaceful in Switzerland. But then in Switzerland, life was not easy, and getting used to a new culture, totally different than Lebanese. And getting used to learning the language, everything, and then also my father couldn't get it work, so it was hard. My mother got had health issues. I had acne with 14, severe acne, and that really kind of took away all my self-confidence and self-worth and all that. It was hard with 14, and then 17 I got beaten up. As you see, it was not easy at all. And then with 22, mom passed away. That was very hard for me. It was the biggest hit of my life when my mom passed away. I didn't think she will leave so soon. And then with 34, I lost my father, and it marked. I had a lot of emotional baggage that I was not even aware of it, but and all those emotions, that unprocessed emotions, traumas, they were all in my body, and they were making my life, was hindering me to really to go forward in my life, and I had different careers in my life, and I did like more than 20 professions. So I did, I was searching for myself, because I started with tool making when I was 16. I didn't know what to do. Everyone knew what they wanted, but I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I was still a child and still playing. And then I came to tool making, and then I did that, but my heart was not there. And then I was just, no, I don't want to work in a factory all my life till 65 and get my pension. This is boring. And so I went on the quest to look, where is my profession? Where is my dharma? My mission. So I did tool making around 10 years, and I traveled a lot. And I went for a world trip when I was 22. After I saved up, and with 22, exactly when my mom passed away, 3 days later, I went on a world trip to discover the world and just go traveling. I went to Australia I had a round world ticket. So I went for 9 months surfing and just, forget a bit, like get away from all this trauma.
Yeah.
And but it gave me energy to keep on living, because for me it was so hard to. I felt so lost, and then I was like, it gave me energy or the will to continue living, and travel the world, and I met so much beautiful people and beautiful places, and so on. So, yeah, tool making, but then with 28, my dream was to go and move to Australia. So I lived there for a couple of years, and I also did. I came into fitness when I was there, and that was a new career path for me. And I loved fitness and working with people instead of machine and factory. That was much more fun. And then I came into acting and loved acting, and really had the Hollywood virus that got me, and and I loved acting, and I did it, followed for 10 years, and I really wanted to go to Hollywood, and I went to America and did some courses, and I wanted to go and to pursue it there, but then a lot of setbacks, and also seeing the dark side of the acting world kind of disgusted me, and then just with 40 I was really um, on the rock bottom. I hit, I was like, I did all those careers, but still with 40, I didn't have, So, and then I came to healing, I saw Dr. Nelson in a documentary. It's called Emotion. And he was talking about trapped emotion, emotional baggage and everything. And I was like, oh my God, that's me. So, yeah, I just, then I read his book, The Emotion Code. And then I got someone from his one therapist from his Discover Healing that worked on me and released my heart wall, and for me it was a big transformation, and for me I just fell in love with this technique. I tried a couple of things, but nothing works so good like this, the emotion body code. And then I just continue. I wanted to know everything, so I learned everything, and then I wanted to, and then I see a future in it, and then I learned it, and now I have my own healing business, and I live in Portugal, by the beach since 3 years, and I'm loving my life now. So, and it's getting better and better.
It's really
So
interesting.
sorry. It's a long story, but I don't.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Cut the short because
All your
okay.
life. I'm really, really sorry for your loss. And it does seem that you had a pretty tough start in life. Probably everything came
Mm,
together and kind of build up to this moment where you discovered the emotion body code.
yeah.
Because it
Well,
seems,
yeah, I think I was saying someone to me, why is my life so hard? Of course, there's worse lives than that I had. I was always kind of lucky in the unluck sometimes, but I think looking back, it all made me who I am now, and I feel I have much more compassion, and I can feel much more in people and understand them, what they're going through with my clients, so yeah.
yeah.
It made me who I am. I don't regret anything. It was my path, and actually, we choose our path. We choose our destiny and our mission on this planet. So I chose this path, and I knew it when I came here. But when you're living it and you don't have this consciousness, I was coming into spirituality, especially after the death of my mom. I asked everything. Then my quest started. Why did it happen for me? And then I would just really looked into. I came into spirituality and all that stuff, and I had many unanswered questions, and but it's good. Now it's looking back, it was all part of it. So yeah.
So I'm curious about, it seems that you've been through this journey of healing. So how do you view healing? What is healing to you? And how does it relate to the body code modality?
Mm. Well, healing, there's so much modalities. There's my God, there's so much. And for me, healing, is especially with the emotion body code, is healing your past. Because we all go through hard traumas and loss or abuse or war or other things, and in our childhood and adolescence, and all those emotions that we experience in those moments, it's overwhelming, especially in the first 1 years. We don't know how to deal with them. We don't have the capacity to understand the whole situation. When you're a child and your parents divorce and there's abuse there and everything, you're a child, you're not capable of understanding all that, and it can be also traumatizing later on. But still, it's and all those unprocessed, suppressed emotion that we experience there, and the subconscious mind stuck them, they get stuck in a body. We call them trapped emotion or compounds. Trapped emotion is only a one emotion, and but those there's compounds, we call them, and they are two emotions together, or sometimes three, like, I mean, maybe you felt abandoned, you felt depressed and sad, so that's a compound of three emotions. And there's different compounds. There's compounds that your own emotions. There is those compounds that you shared with someone. Let's say I experienced war in Lebanon, and I felt that emotions with my family of terror and panic. And so we all share the same emotion. There's also absorbed emotion. Let's say your mom was depressed and abandoned with, you're 6 years old, and you felt that abandonment. You absorb emotions from other people too, that they're really close to you. And there is also the inherited ones that you inherit from your father and mother, that they inherit from their mother, father, and then you give those emotions to your kids, and they give it to your kids. And there's the prenatal emotions that you absorb from your mom when you were in when your mother womb. And so, and also because everything is connected to everything, and you're in them. And then you have the preconceptual emotions that you also get when you leave the heavenly place and we come to this earth. Sometimes you're maybe sad to leave this beautiful place and come to earth, and then sometimes you feel sadness, and this emotion can also get, but those is more rare. So yeah, it's healing is so vast. There's so much things, but yeah, it's important to clean our body and remove all those traumas and emotional baggage to feel getting back into balance, because those imbalances, they bring the body out of balance, and the symptoms start appearing on a physical level, pain, back pain, or I don't know, any pains. There's thousands of symptoms, and then it can be also emotional pain. It can be panic attacks, insomnia, you name it, in all levels. The lack of self-confidence, self-worth, all this.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's important to remove them. And with emotion body code, it's such an easy technique that you can release them, and and the body repairs itself, and the symptoms disappear, and you don't need to take any pills. Because I come from my father is a doctor. I come from a doctor's family. My uncles are doctors. My cousins are doctors, and I didn't want to become a doctor. I was not interested. I don't know. And but I came into healing with 40, and I'm kind of natural doctor, and it's good. We can heal so much without any pharmaceutical or any surgery or anything, just removing the imbalances.
So speaking about the emotions, I think that a lot of us are not even aware of the quantity and the quality of the emotions that we store in our bodies. So you mentioned some like symptoms that could appear inside the body, or some imbalance. Like, what would be, like, let's say that the people who are listening to the podcast, they would be like, well, I'm not sure. It seems that I am fine. Like, I'm not super happy, but my life is fine. I have not much to complain about. What would be some,
Mhm.
like, three things to look at and to say, well, actually, no, I really do have emotional baggage and I need to do something about this?
Mm. Well, the thing is, if they have a symptom on any level, I can ask the subconscious mind why you have this symptom, and then I ask the subconscious mind why you have this, and then I navigate and I connect with the person, and I can release those imbalances with the body code. And it doesn't matter where you connect with them, and I can release, and the subconscious now knows it. Everything is stored in the subconscious mind. Everything you ate, anything you saw, it's all stored there. And the conscious mind is only 5%, and we forget things and we suppress them. And sometimes the conscious mind doesn't want to remember anything. Sometimes some clients, they have just blackouts. They know it's just blackness in their childhood. And but also, if they're not really happy, there's so many different reasons. But really, for me, there's 3 pillars of happiness, and 3 of them they really need to be. The first one is self-care. So taking care of yourself, food, exercise, all that, meditation. Self-care is also healing your past. This is also there, and it's important to heal your past. And we all went through things in our lives. And subconscious beliefs, oh my God, beliefs are so important. If you have subconscious belief, I'm not good enough, and you have it in your subconscious mind programmed, and you try, that will, has effects on your love life, on your professional life, and everything, on your abundance. And also the second pillar is also very important, is to fulfill your mission, to love what you do work wise. Now I can say I love Mondays. I love every day of the week. And if you don't love your work, if you don't like Mondays, you're not there yet. And that's why I did everything to find my passion. And I didn't like Mondays for many years. And it's important to really love what you do. And this is really real happiness as well. And the third one is love where you live, and surround yourself with good people, have the good surroundings. It all affects us. You can be the most positive person, but if you live in a wrong environment, you will not thrive. It's impossible. So that's why for me, in Switzerland, it's a great country. I liked it. It gives me peace, but I just miss the beach. And I love living by the beach because I grew up on the beach my first 12 years. So I wanted to go back there, and environment, I couldn't, in Switzerland, I couldn't thrive there. I couldn't bloom. I felt like in the wrong place. So all those 3: self-care, love what you do, live in the right environment, surround yourself with positive people, then you really can thrive. And
That sounds terrific. And I'm really curious about going deeper into how does the process go? Like you just said, that actually somebody can come and be curious, and they might not even have the awareness that they are carrying certain limiting beliefs, and you are able to speak directly to their subconscious. So how does that happen?
Yeah, well, actually, it's not that difficult at all. We are all connected, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Let's say you are now, whatever you are, you can be on this planet or another. We're all connected. There's no distance. And then as soon as I think or have a conversation with you, I'm connected to you. Okay, and then I ask you, can I log in? It's like Bluetooth. And I ask you, first I ask your permission. Okay, it's like, Anca, can I log in onto you like Bluetooth? And you tell me, yeah, of course you can log. And then I ask your subconscious mind, can I log in? And he tells me yes or no. And I do that with muscle testing that comes from kinesiology. And usually I can always log in, and then my subconscious mind picks up your subconscious mind, and because everything is connected together. And then I say, okay, can I be proxy? Can I step in? And then I can read your messages. I can ask the questions to the subconscious mind, to my subconscious mind, and then I can navigate through the body code system and release whatever needs to be released, or the root causes of your issue, or ask if you have this limiting belief or anything that needs to be released with the body code. And
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
yeah, if you want, I can release anything from you now, just as a demonstration.
Yeah, let's do it at the end. Let's go a little bit more through the questions. We're gonna do this. I just wanted you to expand just a tad on why you ask for approval. So, and because, you know, like when somebody hears what you just said, they would assume that, wow, this is like, if they meet you in real life or they just have a chat with you, it's as if you are seeing into their soul, right? But then you said you ask if that's okay. So basically you don't want to step on their free will. And why is that important for you as a practitioner?
Well, I think the first thing they need to trust me first. It's always in the beginning, especially with this work, is to gain trust. And of course, I cannot work on someone who doesn't really want to be worked on. Without permission, I cannot work on them. I'm not allowed to. Okay, and that's why, you know, I always ask for permission from them. And then when I get, they say, yeah, of course you can work on me. If they trust me, and first, that's why I give a free consultation in the beginning, so they get to know me a little bit, to feel my energy, and get to, it's like, okay, can I trust this guy or not? And then usually I remove to trap emotion or anything, and yeah, it's important. And then when I get the okay from them, and I ask the subconscious mind if I can release anything. It's always, oh, this is also ask the permission of the subconscious mind to have the okay from them as well. And yeah, usually it's always yes. But yeah, sometimes when I work on heart walls, let's say, the wall around the heart, and 93% of the people have a closed heart and they're not even aware of it. And I had a huge heart wall. And if the client wants to work and remove the wall around their heart, but then I log in and I ask the subconscious mind, can I release it? And it tells me no. Then I can't. I cannot. Even if I want to, I can't. If it tells me you cannot release it, I can't. So because, you know, usually when I can't release it or work on it, the person, the client is going through a tough time. Let's say he's going through, who knows, a divorce or a difficult moment in his life, and the wall is there to protect them, to filter the negative emotions that they experience in the moment. So it's a shield, and you need it when you're going through tough times. And when you out of those tough times, you want to start a new life. Let's say you had the divorce or anything traumatic or in your childhood, and then you want to move on, you want to forget and just start a new life. It's important to release this wall around the heart. And anyone, if you're in a relationship or out of relationship, it's important to have an open heart, because we are all born with an open heart, and then things happen at home, at school. Maybe you get bullied, maybe you got an abusive father or alcoholic, and you know, I heard so much stories. Oh my God, that's crazy. You know, this planet has a lot of suffering, and that's why we are born. You know, if you look at a baby's eyes, they're so pure. You look at their soul, it's so, you know. And then you look at some people who had hard life. They look like really beaten up with 40 or 30,
Yeah.
depending on their life journey. And all those emotions are all in there, and they're rubbing their energy, they're rubbing everything, their health, anything. So, and yeah, for me it was a huge amazing, transformation with the heart. And I love releasing heart walls, and this is yeah, I encourage everyone to do that.
Can you give us some examples of what your clients experienced after removing the heart wall?
They feel emotional freedom. They feel liberated. They feel free. They feel more connected to other people. People come easier to you. You go easy to people. You it can like I released some heart walls of my clients, and because my niche market is singles, and they found their love of their life, so, and they have children and now and everything, just releasing the heart wall. And I can release it in 1-2 sessions. So yeah, it can really hinder you to find your love. But the heart wall is not everything. That's why it's important to release also subconscious beliefs. The beliefs are detrimental for your love and everything. But also it numbs your feelings, the heart wall. And so you feel everything. You feel much more because you don't have this 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 wall around your heart, so you're really open. But there's also different heart walls. There's the main one, but then there's other walls that are there that you maybe absorbed from anyone else or inherited, or also they needs or the inner child heart wall needs to be also released. So there's different heart walls as well. So it's just but depends. Some people we need to always ask the subconscious mind what else is there, other walls around there. So yeah.
So what motivates you, and why do you like this modality, releasing the heart wall, so much? What motivates you in the work that you are carrying out? And
Because I love when people tell me, "Hey, I found the love of my life, and and we're having a child, and thanks to your work, and just helping people, because this modality helped me so much and transformed totally my life, and I felt so lost in my life, so many, I felt like the outcast and always on the sidelines. Everyone was building their career, and I'm like, where am I? And then I found this modality, and it was I learned it online with it was just the perfect thing. And finally I found my place, and I worked so much on myself with them. It helped me so much. And when I see clients come to me and they have issues, their symptoms disappear, or they found the love of life. And I had singles that they were single for years and years and nothing was happening. They were shy. And then I just release, they go through the singles program, release the heart wall, and all that. And bam, three months later, they found the love of life. And then 3 months later than that, they move in together. Imagine. And so yeah, there's many stories like this. And so I love the feedback. And then you feel like, yeah, I'm fulfilling my mission here, and healing is happening. And yeah. So, and it doesn't feel like work. And I remember my father told me, like, he loved his work, and he was working so hard as a doctor, my God. And then he told me, like, he kind of encouraged me to love what I do. And for me, that's why I never give up, even if it was hopeless, to continue my, to find it. And yeah, it really doesn't feel like work. So yeah.
that sounds amazing.
Mm.
It sounds really beautiful, and it feels like through this work you are nurturing your clients, but also you are nurturing your soul, because you are doing your soul purpose, your dharma. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
really wonderful.
Yeah, this is, I think if everyone would love what they do, there will be much less suffering.
Yeah.
And if you don't do your dharma, you will compensate with any other drugs or whatever, and no, even if you have an amazing salary and you don't love what you do, it will kill you with the time. It's just because, but I think more and more people are following their heart, because, and yeah, like the generation what I grew up, it was like, I don't know, it was like, I didn't want to. I had a good salary. I didn't want to wait till my pension to be, like, start living. I was like, no, like, I want to live now. And yeah, so it took courage, because even now, like 3 years ago, I left Switzerland, and I was like, oh my God, again, like, I'm gonna risk it, but I want to go for it. And having my own healing business and everything, and everything went well. Okay, now with COVID was hard for everyone, even for me, for a whole year was really, really hard. But yeah, things are improving now. So yeah.
Yeah. It seems like you listened to the call, right? Like your soul was telling you, well, no,
Mm,
this is the way to go. And as you said, yeah, you listen to your heart. And
mm,
it's what transpires to me is the fact that you are driven by this need to contribute to the well-being of humanity, and also at the same time to feel free in your life and to help other people feel free. And emotional freedom, I think it's for many people who are interested in healing and who understand that a lot of us came into this world at this moment in time because we are part of, well, raising the global consciousness, and we take the responsibility for that by, well, doing certain healing
Yeah,
practices.
yeah, and yeah, that's why I call it Start Feeling Free, my business. I just because I felt I felt so much freer, and now this is the emotion that I want to give to people. Just free yourself from those negative emotions and just start really thrive in your life. And yeah, it's important. It's very important. And but yeah, more and more people are waking up. I have to say, women are much more open than men usually. Most of my clients are women, and they're much more in touch with their emotions and much more open to modalities of healing. A lot of men are still not very open to it, to be honest. But there is sensitive men. They're in touch with their emotion, and because some men, they're like, I don't need a therapist. I don't need, they kind
Yeah.
of playing the tough, and they're suppressing it with, I don't know, all sorts of things. And it's not the solution.
Yeah.
It's
I've
not the solution. It's yeah, it's not, yeah. So that's why, but more, it's important to, um, yeah, that's it.
It's excellent that you are a male practitioner, and I think that you, through your story, you are showing a lot of men that it is possible, well, to stand in your power while owning your emotions. Because we live in societies that I personally believe that little boys are extremely sensitive and they have such a pure, such a generous, such a big heart. But then we condition them, right? Like boys can't cry, and don't be soft, and don't show your emotions. And
Right.
it's very, very, like, it's an act of courage, but more than that, it's an act of defiance against social norms for a man to say, well, I'm not well in my life and I do need the support of a therapist or of a medicine man, right? And I
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
do.
not manly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, but I think that, like, for example, you stand as an example, that you
Mhm.
stance, and I'm sure that also the women who are searching, because it's true, like, all of the people around me, they are more in their feminine energy, and they are more, the ones who are more in their feminine energy are more prone to follow the healing path. But I also see that we are doing it because we understand that it is our responsibility to heal, like, on the horizontal for our generation, and maybe for our partner, for our children, and also go past and future generations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It is super important for whole humanity, and humanity needs to heal.
Yeah.
And if you want to heal the world, start healing yourself. Really,
Yeah.
healing starts with everyone, and everyone needs healing. And we all have stuff to heal. And yeah, because all this world crying for is all suffering, is all yeah, all. That's why it's important to start also with yourself. If you want to change the world, start with yourself. And yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious, who on throughout your life, so you mentioned that you did over 20, you followed over 20 careers.
Well, yeah, 20 professions, yeah, careers. There was like three main, or 12, yeah,
Mhm.
four. But yeah, like the first one is like, yeah, tool making. I did that for 10 years. And then fitness I did also for 10 years. On the side, acting and modeling, lifestyle modeling for 10 years. And now healing. But yeah, heaps of other jobs I did. And I was just trying everything out. I was waitering, I even did cleaning, work in the building sites, everything. But I don't regret it. It's just was part of it. And sometimes you need to pay your bills. You
Yeah,
just have to,
absolutely.
and yeah, it's okay. prefer something like that someone is just, boring career and then is still not happy, or I don't know. Everyone is his own thing, but yeah. So, and nowadays, it's good. I was so happy to have this modality that you can work online and then and be your own boss. And there's more and more jobs nowadays working online, and especially now with COVID, is people are more opening up to having a therapist online than before.
Yeah.
I think the world have really shifted more online since COVID. And in one way, this is one positive outcome. You don't need to travel. People, you can still connect. And sometimes, I met a lot of clients or people, they're like, I like to have the therapist one-on-one personally. So, but and I felt like the Americans are more open to it, and Europeans were like a little bit more. But now I think the whole thing shifted more. They're more open here too. So yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that it's online, it helps you serve like a wider range of people, because well, they can be located anywhere, and you also
Mhm.
do this in several languages, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I speak 7 languages. But yeah, like I'm learning Portuguese, so I can't do it really. I can do it a little bit on Portuguese, but not that well. But Italian or Spanish is also, yeah. So it's not something but I have a conversation. But when it comes to technical stuff, it's a little bit more hard. But yeah, usually I do it in German, Swiss German, English, French, and yeah, what else? That's it.
Yeah.
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 Well, this is my main languages that I do. Arabic I can do also, but also I prefer when the client speaks English when they're Arabic, because some emotion I don't know how to say it in Arabic. Yeah.
But still, it's
So,
manageable. I think that it's absolutely amazing, because a lot of the people in the Arab world are starting to be interested in this, and yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be very,
for
very,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, especially, I just had a woman from Jordan today.
Mm,
And everyone needs, in the Arab world, definitely too, and they're opening up more and more, and
yeah,
they need a lot of healing to orient.
yeah,
It's also a place that went through a lot of trauma,
yeah. Collectively,
Mm.
yeah, absolutely. So during
Yeah.
these whole years and all the professions and all the life experiences that you
Mm.
underwent, who did you find inspiring, and why did you find them an inspiration?
But all through those, well, who I found this, well, first, for me, my teacher is Dr. Nelson. I'm so grateful for him, and that he has this method and find this method, and forever grateful for him, because I remember I saw him once live, and he was in Germany, and I went there to see him live for the first time, and I just was learning the emotion code, and I was just doing my body code certification, and I really thanked him for having this technique, found this technique that was really changed my life. And so for me, he was a big inspiration, definitely. Yeah, and other people. I don't know, I love life coaching. Tony Robbins, of course, is always he is one of the best coaches out there. I have in the moment, a German coach in the moment, and we all need coaches, life coaches, that help us in our. And you never. There's always things to learn. You're never finished, till your last breath. And yeah.
Yeah. And just now I was thinking about the body code and the and releasing the heart wall. Is it something that you do once and then you are good to go, or can you rebuild your heart wall and then you have to
Yeah, it,
again?
it can rebuild again. Yeah. It
Mm,
can rebuild. If you're going through again, let's say I release your heart wall, and then maybe 2 years later you have a really hard time in your life, let's say work or relationship or anything else, it can rebuild, but then you can release it again. It's
Yeah.
just a protection mechanism that the
Yeah.
body and subconscious mind can do it.
Yeah.
But also it's important, if you even if you're going through hard times, is to feel the emotions, not to suppress them, or you know
Yeah.
even if they don't feel good, the emotions that you're experiencing, it's always to feel them and acknowledge them, even if they don't feel good, because if you don't, they can get trapped much more easily. Yeah.
Yeah, we learned this as children, as you said, that I think that as children we don't really understand what is happening, and we tend to suppress them, because I guess the ultimate fear is that they are going to kill us because they are so powerful, and we feel so rawly as children. And then we kind of take this strategy and we live with it throughout the years, where basically we numb and we suppress our emotions, and we just go through life with this happy merry-go-round masks.
Yeah.
um, but a lot of us, as you said, are probably not very happy. Like if we are really honest with ourselves, we are not really happy and not really aligned and not really living a fulfilled, purposeful life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's important to be in tune with our emotions. Like especially the first 20 years, we don't have the capacity to understand those things, and you're so dependent of your parents, and it's all survival, if you
Yeah.
and so that's why, with all the story, it's but yeah, those emotions can also, later on, depending, everyone, it influences everyone differently, because, like if I have brothers and sisters, and everyone has a different story, and we all come from the same source, but everyone reacts differently. And seeing my brother and sister, they were, and how it came to them. Like I had acne with 14, and my whole self-image was destroyed, and they never had that before, like they'd never suffered that before, like me. They had different challenges. Everyone has his own destiny as well, and it's interesting.
How would you suggest? So you advised us to feel into our emotions so that they don't build up and they don't basically get
Mhm.
stuck. How would you, like? Let's say that something happened and you are experiencing a very powerful emotion like anger, right?
Mhm.
How would you go about it? How would you go about feeling it without being aggressive towards other people or towards yourself, so that you don't store it inside?
It's really, first acknowledge that you're feeling anger, and then you ask, why am I feeling anger? And then I'm trying to understand, okay, I'm feeling anger because of that and that. And then, okay, can you do something about it? Do we need to talk with this person? Or can resolve it with talking? And if not, you just need to kind of find a way to to feel it to the end, and maybe if it doesn't really feel good, and then also try to, I don't know, do sports, get it out of your body, shake it up, do meditation, yoga, or just meditate on it. Just sit down and feel it till it's gone. It won't last, it can't. You just have to go through the storm of that,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important. But if you don't, just ignore it, and I don't know, if you, of course, there's always constructive way or destructive way,
Mhm.
So it's always better to do it in a constructive way, and like, yeah, just sometimes when I felt angry, I just, when you do sport, it's a great way to release it as well,
Yeah.
than anything
Dancing,
else. Yeah,
jumping, shaking.
yeah, exactly.
Really
Yeah,
writing in your book or in your journal.
yeah, or it's better than destroying the apartment. It's not good.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
cost money, or
Yeah.
violence is never a solution as well.
I
So
think
yeah.
that's why a lot of us have, like when you mentioned releasing the heart wall and being able to feel so much more, and I could feel, not for myself but maybe a little bit for myself too, that's so frightening because so many of us have been conditioned as children, well, to not feel a lot and to not be a lot, because like angry little girls are not really welcomed, and when you cry as a child they are like shutting you down and saying that there is no space for you to express that anger. And I guess it starts there. So what I would like you to mention maybe is that it's not like this, like I imagine that once you don't have this heart wall, it's not about being devoured by these emotions. It's by being able to be with these emotions and to understand, like to give them the space to be without becoming them, like feeling the joy, feeling the love, but also feeling maybe the anger or the sadness, and them
Mm,
actually not having any impact, like not putting you down. For example, the sadness.
yeah, yeah. It's again, that's it's important to feel those emotions, even if they because we always try to numb them or whatever. And I did that long time.
Yeah.
Um, Numbed it with all sorts of things, legal stuff, illegal stuff, to be honest. And it's because they don't feel good. We
Yeah.
want to feel good, and yeah. So, but yeah, again, like also without the heart wall, you will feel everything more intensely. This is the, but then you have also more life experience. Like now, let's say someone is 40 and I release their heart wall and they have an open heart. It's just you feel much more. You have to get used to it because you're not used to it. You don't Last time you felt so free was maybe in your childhood when you were 5 years old and you start building your wall around 7 or so. You have to get first used to it because you feel everything more. But it's also you feel the positive emotions much more. This is also, and also you have, let's say we are 40, you have much more life experience. You know how to deal with it. You have the capacity. You've been through stuff. You can deal with it more, and so yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's it.
Okay. So would you be willing to give the listeners a taste of well, the emotion body code modality?
Yeah, of course.
Great. You can use
But I
me as a
thought
cobaye.
I can can I have you as a as a client and
Yes. Yes.
remove two? Is that okay? If not,
Sure.
if I can remove on myself. If you don't, okay, let's do that. So you want to release anything from your heart wall
Um,
or anything else you want to
I'm
work
I'm
on?
sure that I have a really thick heart wall, and I'm sure that it's gonna take much more time. So
No,
let's,
no, no.
yeah.
I'm just gonna release two things. So I'm not.
Okay.
Let me ask if you have a heart wall. Let me. Do I have a connection? Is that okay to connect with you first?
Sure.
Okay. All right. I always ask, can I have connection to? Yes. Can it be proxy? Can I step in? Yes. So now, do you have a heart wall? Yes. How big is it? I put meters, but it's not really meters, but just, to tell me a little bit symbolically how big it is. 150 meters is like, that's normal, more or less. 200 meters is big. 300, that also had some clients that had 300. That was a huge, that's not a wall, that's a fortress. So the bigger it is, the more emotions you have around the heart. So how big is your heart wall? Is more than 100, more than 100, 150, 200, 150, 160, 170, 180, 175, 176, 170. Yeah, 176 meters. So it's really, again, it's not only symbolically, but it's medium to large, okay? So you went through, yeah, no, quite enough stuff, you know. Let me see. I'm going to ask you to read the track. Yes. I'm just beginning through the common heart wall emotion. How old are you? If I can ask?
4.
Your age?
34.
How old are you, Anca?
34.
34. Okay, 34. I'm going to ask when you felt this emotion. Was it before 20, before 10, before 15? So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're 14 years old. And let me see, what emotion is it? A, B. So you felt helpless with 14. Can you remember a situation that you felt helpless?
Not something specific, but I'm sure my family was not it wasn't like a happy, steady, stable place.
Okay. Let me ask, was it regarding the family? I get a yes. Was it regarding your parents? Something with your parents or school? School, I get no. Parents, I get yes. It's something with your father, your mother. Something with your father?
Yeah,
Probably. Your mother says no, so something there with your father. All right. Now I can ask, can I release it? It tells me yes, I can release. So I'm going to release it, okay?
Yeah.
And I take the magnet, or I can take my hand and just over my head, or I take the magnet much more stronger with the intention of releasing it with a magnet over my head 3 times. If it's your emotion, in this case, it's just only 3 times. If it's inherited, it's 10 times. And over the main meridian of the body, just 1, 2, and 3. Now I released it. Did I release it? I asked the subconscious mind. It tells me, yes, I released it. Did you feel anything?
Pain in my index finger.
What? Okay. All right. The body, and now it's gone. It was just like a little pain and it's gone, or is it still there?
No, it's gone, but it was just like a shooting pain in my left index finger.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you never know how the body reacts. So let me see if we can release another heart wall emotion. Release another heart wall emotion that needs to be released. Yes. So it's a shared heart wall emotion. So you experience this with someone else. What's the shared one? So an emotion of despair, a shared trapped emotion. Let me ask, what was it before 20, before 10, before 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 years old? So you felt despair with your family, maybe, with 7 years old? Does something come to mind?
Nothing specific, but then again, that would have been the time when I moved back in with my parents because I grew up with my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the stability was not really there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Was it regarding moving from grandparents to parents? I get a yes. The whole situation there. Yes. All right. Can release it. Yes, I can release it. So again, release 3 times. Release it. Yes, it's released. Okay. Did you feel that? Did your index finger?
No, this time, this time it was
something else?
I just I was feeling as you started working on this, I started feeling, like a lot of tension in my throat. And
Okay.
once you said that it's released, I yawned, so probably the energy went away.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes when you yawn, it comes out there. Okay. Yeah. You're reacting. That's good.
Yeah.
Responsive. That's because some people are not. I can work on people, and sometimes they feel nothing, no results. I'm like, my God, it's but it's rare. Usually, you always have a response or a reaction or a result. Um, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just, a test of two. Usually I can release, but I can release it in 1 or 2 sessions, the heart wall.
Yeah, interesting.
And yeah.
And it's just so
So
simple, because like if you think about like going to therapy and being like for years in therapy and trying to like remember all the little details.
yeah, but yeah, well, it's yeah, this was yeah, I don't want to judge it, but talking about it is like, yeah, but do something about it. It's good to talk about it, but you need to release the emotional charge of it.
Yeah.
And then there's heaps of technique. Body code is one technique, and there's emotional freedom technique. There's so much out there. But for me, it was such an amazing, simple technique that's effective. And so, yeah, for me, it was just the perfect modality for me to learn, and that's why I came into it. And yeah, now it's been 7 years. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I still love what it. And they always like they just brought out the body code 0.21, like they're always improving the whole system. And just the last year they came a new app out, and with more options and more in depth, and yeah, amazing stuff. So it's cool.
Yeah. Amazing.
Mm,
So listeners can find you online on your website, startfeelingfree.com, and also on
exactly.
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube with Start Feeling Free.
Exactly, yeah. Just there, and then surfing, they can book a free consultation, 20-minute free consultation. And, I can release two trapped emotions from them through root causes and get to know each other. And then from that, they can go and book, if they like it, they can book a jumpstart session, and it's like 30% off, or it's 1 hour. And then yeah, I will explain more in depth what the emotional body code, and we'll work on an issue that they have. And yeah, that
Yeah.
is how they can
That,
book online. It's all there.
that sounds great. That sounds great. I really
Great.
hope that more and more people are gonna are gonna embrace this healing path, and we're gonna start building a well more emotional,
Mm-hmm.
relatable.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's just yeah. So yeah, I need to encourage, inspire them, and also transform them.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's and it's not. Usually you go when after the session there's a processing happening for 48 hours, and sometimes people feel a bit off after but it's not that scary. A lot of people are they're afraid of the subconscious mind, and because you go into there's a door in a cellar, you don't want to go and open it up because you don't know, maybe there's a dragon coming out in front of you, or I don't know. You know what I mean? Some people are afraid of their subconscious mind, and actually I would encourage people to not be afraid of what that comes up. There's nothing, everything can be healed.
Yeah.
And it's important to free and look bring those emotions into the light, and free them, and then that's where the healing comes.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to mention that whatever is running our subconscious is running us. So
Mm-hmm.
better to know what it is than to just be, like driven by these dragons that we have no clue what they look like and how we can slay
Mm-hmm.
them. So yeah. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Sammy, for the work that you are carrying out. And I'm really, really grateful for having had you on the podcast.
thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, so
And,
we're gonna put all the links in the description so that people can reach out online and hopefully get down the heart wall.
yeah, hardball or anything. It's just, yeah, For sure. And also, I have an abundance program. If people have problems with abundance, it's also money is energy. And I have also, I have for singles, for love, I have a program, but also for abundance, to raise the vibration, remove the limiting belief of, I'm worthy of abundance or anything, to attract money, because everything is frequency, everything is energy. So, and also for health, it works for three, for the health, for love, and abundance, three of them. So, yeah.
That's great. So people can find more information on your website, right? StartFeelingFree.com.
That's it. Exactly.
Super. Thank you very much, Sami.
Thank you. And hear from you soon.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a happy evening.
Thank you.